Midwest.
For nearly half a century, the Chicago Blackhawks and St. Louis Blues have been connected by their competitive fire, combative drive, and commitment to excellence. A natural rivalry that was born in the 1970s is now a staple of the National Hockey League in the 21st century. An intense rivalry that has captured the imagination of both players and fans alike.
Emerson, Shanahan, Belcher, shoots, he scores!
Far side for Taves, and up and Aaron fires and scores!
Many of the NHL's very best have known this rivalry, both at home and away.
Three Blues and escaping is Lemieux. He's in. Score! Jocelyn Lemieux. They score! Brendan Shanahan. And the game is tied at 3.
The emotion and grit.
Time hockey here in Chicago. We're going to have a brawl, folks.
And everyone comes in. Belfort hot.
Big goal in a big way.
The talent and skill.
2-on-1 and it's more on the cross and the shot. Sharp!
Over to Pronger, the wrist shot, he scores! Chris Pronger, a power play goal!
The feelings of despair and the elation of victory.
Back to Jackman.
They score! Game winner in overtime. You can bring out the Zamboni.
Moments and memories of historic clashes that have been played more than 300 times in the regular season and in 12 memorable playoff series.
Right in, and he scores and wins it. Wide open, O'Brower, the former Blackhawk, has given the Blues a 3-2 lead, and they go marching on to the second round.
This is an event 50 years in the making, and now it plays out on its largest stage ever. The 2017 Winter Classic Alumni Game is next.
St. Louis, Missouri, the Archway represents the gateway to the West. Today, it serves as a portal to our hockey past. From Busch Stadium, the Cardinals step aside for a hockey game, the Winter Classic Alumni Game between the St. Louis Blues and the Chicago Blackhawks. Hi, everybody. Welcome to an absolutely spectacular day in downtown St. Louis. I'm Darren Millard. The cloud cover has moved in. It's got rid of all the glare, and we're ready to go. The place is going to be packed here at Busch Stadium. Of course, people in St. Louis used to gatherings late in the season for baseball. Late November, a big difference in the last day of the year, but we're ready anyway. Baseball's moved out. The hockey guys have moved in to watch two longtime rivals go head-to-head. The Chicago Blackhawks, an original 6 team. St. Louis Blues, the next best thing. Part of the first wave of NHL expansion in 1967. Their original buildings, iconic, both closed down in 1994. They've been division rivals since 1970. Chicago's won 3 of their 6 Stanley Cups in the last 7 years. The St. Louis Blues went to the Stanley Cup final in each of their first 3 seasons. We have the Chicago Blackhawk bench staff for you. But first, upstairs, John Kelly, Mike Rupp. John, you're going to say a few names you haven't thought about in years.
Yeah, no question, Darren. Some special players and a special venue. And, Mike, I know you've played in a few of these outdoor games. It's going to be a great game today.
Yeah, and this is hockey at its purest. You always hear that with these outdoor games, playing outdoors. A lot of the ways that many of these players and all hockey players grow up playing the game. But also, hockey at its purest is the camaraderie that these guys have created over the years. A lot of times coming in those big, huge, heated rivalries with the other color on the other side of the ice today. So all those things come together. It's going to be a fun day.
All right, for more on today's game, let's go down to the Hawk bench and Pat Boyle.
You know, John, it's fitting that this game comes to you from a ballpark that's already experienced Chicago and St. Louis sports friction over the years. This rivalry built on physicality. We don't on the bench as we reminisce. Let's send it over to Darren.
All right, with the Chicago Blackhawks starting goaltender gear that you retired in?
It seems to be the ongoing joke. The pads are 27 inches long. I tried the new stuff, Darren. It didn't work. I could barely move when I played. I could barely move when I tried it on. So I went back to the old formula, and I think this is going to be a blast.
You had full knee replacement surgery last year. How's it feel?
It doesn't feel too bad. I haven't stretched out, but that's been a long time, that bad knee. But again, it's going to be so great in this iconic building.
By the way, he's going to face a St. Louis line of Hull, Oates, and Gretzky. It's the Winter Classic alumni game from St. Louis, the Blackhawks against the Blues. Introductions are coming up next. At the Winter Classic alumni game, asking the question, can two teams that have forged an incredible rivalry simply play for fun? Chicago, St. Louis. Here's Blues PA announcer Tom Calhoun.
First, let's meet the coaches for Chicago. The co-founder and current president of the Blackhawk Alumni Association, this winger played his entire 11-year NHL career as a Blackhawk. More than 800 games. Cliff Coral. He's a Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario native and a Hall of Fame goaltender who played 15 seasons with the Blackhawks. Tony Esposito. Now let's meet the alumni of the Chicago Blackhawks. He played in 4 seasons with the Blackhawks from 1988 to 1992. Defenseman number 5, Steve Conroy. He was a gold medalist with Team USA in 1980 at the Olympics and played 5 seasons in Chicago. Defenseman number 5, Jack O'Callahan. He spent 3 seasons on Chicago's blue line, winning a Stanley Cup in 2010. A 12-year NHL veteran, also number 5, Brent Sopel. This defenseman spent 4 seasons with the Chicago Blackhawks. He finished out his 7-year NHL career as a member of the St. Louis Blues in 2006. Number 8, Steve Popst. This forward played 4 seasons in Chicago during the 70s and 80s. Number 10, Reggie Kerr. He played in more than 600 NHL games, including parts of 7 seasons with the Blackhawks. Number 10, Brian Noonan. Stanley Cup with the Blackhawks in 2013 and 2015. Number 13, Daniel Carcillo. This forward spent 4 seasons in Chicago during the mid-90s. He's a 16-year NHL veteran. Number 15, Jim Cummins. This Alberta native spent 6 seasons with the Blackhawks and is a 10-year NHL veteran. Left wing, number 19, Kyle Calder. He was a part of many of the epic Blues-Hawks battles. In the 1986 Selke winner and current Blackhawk radio analyst, number 19, Troy Murray. Drafted 89th overall in the 1993 entry draft by the St. Louis Blues. This 15-year NHL vet retired from the Blackhawks in 2013 after winning a Stanley Cup. Forward number 22, Jamal Mayers. This big winger was the Blackhawks' number 1 pick in the 1974 draft. Number 22, Grant Mulvey. This winger played for Chicago in 88 and 89 and played parts of 3 seasons with St. Louis. Number 26, Dave Mackey. This goaltender started his NHL career with the Blackhawks in 88-89 and is the current Chicago goaltending coach. Number 29, Jimmy Waits. goaltender was a mainstay for the Blackhawks of the 1980s, who won 20 or more games 4 times for Chicago. Number 30, Murray Bannerman. He played for 7 different NHL clubs, including Chicago, during his 19-year career. Defenseman number 33, Adrian Aucoin. He joined the Blackhawks in 1997. This winger played 38 games for the Blues in the 2001 season. Number 33, Reed Simpson. He spent 4 seasons with the Blackhawks. Forward number 37, Adam Burrish. This netminder played 3 seasons in a Blackhawks uniform and had 9 points in his NHL career. He's currently a television analyst for the St. Louis Blues. Number 40, Darren Pang. He led the Hawks in scoring during the 2001-02 season. Number 55, Eric Daze. Spent 9 seasons in the NHL. Forward number 55, Ben Eager. And now it's time to introduce the coaches for your St. Louis Blues. He recorded over 800 points in just over 1,100 NHL games. 4th on the Blues all-time list for points and goals, Gary Unger. Points and goals on the Blues all-time list. His NHL record 6 goals in 1 game still stands today. Number 7, Red Berenson. Serving captain in Blues history. He is 3rd in Blues history in games played, points, goals, assists, and coaching wins. His number hangs in the rafters. Number 11, Brian Sutter. This is the 50th year as a Blue for our final coach. He is 7th in games played and 2nd among defensemen. His number 5 will be retired next month. He is Mr. Blue, the legend, Bobby Plager. Now Blues fans representing 50 golden years of hockey in St. Louis. Let's meet the alumni of your St. Louis Blues. He is the all-time Blues leader for goalies in games played, wins, and minutes played. Number 1, Mike Liut. A 12-time NHL All-Star, Norris and Conn Smythe winner. His number hangs in the rafters. Number 2, Hockey Hall of Famer, Al McInnes. Played 274 games in the Blue Note and has been with the team since 1987. Number 4, Bruce Affleck. Another gritty number 5 who was a former captain of the Blues, Garth Butcher. Player to ever wear number 5, the all-time games leader among Blues defensemen, Barrett Jackman. He played over 600 games as a Blue and continues to call St. Louis home. Number 6, Larry Patey. In 1993, number 6, Jamie Rivers. One of 4 U.S.-born players to ever score 500 goals and 1,000 points. A two-time 50-goal scorer, number 7, Keith Kachuk. This former captain was one of the hardest working forwards to wear the note. Number 10, Dallas Drake. One of the greatest passers in the history of the game. Blues record holder for most assists in one season. Hockey Hall of Famer, number 12, Adam Oates. Combinations to play for the Blues. He had 157 points in 337 games. Number 14, Paul Cavallini. The greatest goal scorer in Blues history and 4th overall in the history of the game. He had 27 hat tricks for the Blues and 527 goals. Hockey Hall of Famer Brett Hull. Biggest fan favorites in Blues history, number 17, Gino Cavallini. This forward was a consummate leader, recording 137 points in 235 games for the Blues. Number 19, Scott Mellanby. Had 294 points in 329 games and still holds the Blues record with 25 goals for a D-man in one season. Number 21, Jeff Brown. The Blues all-time leader in points, assists, and games played. He finished his NHL career with 1,130 points in exactly 1,000 games. Number 24, Hockey Hall of Famer Bernie Federko. He won one of the best lines in hockey alongside his brothers in Quebec. Over 1,200 total points. Number 26, Hockey Hall of Famer Peter Stastny. He made his Blues and NHL debut in 2000 and went on to play over 700 games. Number 27, Bryce Salvador. He played parts of 3 seasons for the Blues and makes his home in St. Louis. Number 27, Terry Yake. He finished his illustrious career wearing the note in 2015 after winning 3 Stanley Cups. He is the NHL all-time leader in wins, shutouts, games, and most 40-win seasons. Number 30, Martin Brodeur. Drafted by the Blues in 1975, he played 137 games for the Blues over parts of 6 seasons. Number 31, Ed Stanowski. Toughest Blues to ever wear a Blues sweater. He teamed up with Tony Twist, forming one of the top tag team duos in the NHL. Number 39, Kelly Chase. Five-time NHL All-Star, Norris Trophy winner, and he joins Bobby Orr as the only NHL defenseman to win the Hart Trophy as league MVP in the same year. Number 44, Hockey Hall of Famer Chris Pronger. A former 40-goal scorer for the Blues, he scored over 1,100 or played over 1,100 NHL games. Number 48, Scott Young. Blues career with a 2.47 goals against average in 118 games. Number 50, Chris Mason. One of the slickest centers in the game who could also score. He finished with 515 goals and over 1,300 points in 1,294 games. Number 77, Pierre Turgeon. Finally, he owns over 2,800 points in just under 1,500 games. More assists than any other player has points. An 18-time NHL All-Star, a 4-time Stanley Cup champion, and more records than we have time to go into. The greatest player to ever play, Hockey Hall of Famer number 99, Wayne Gretzky.
It's the Blues Blackhawks alumni style. The anthem of the United States. An opening faceoff is next from Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
And now to honor America, especially the brave men and women serving our nation throughout the world. Please join in the singing of our national anthem, sung today by Charles Glenn.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and love of the
Ladies and gentlemen, today's Alumni game and the upcoming Winter Classic are the culmination of the combined efforts of two proud St. Louis organizations, the St. Louis Blues and...
Darren Millard with a reminder that throughout the course of this game, we'll have two players mic'd up. We'll talk to them while they play. Also, Pat Boyle and I will chat with players in between shifts on the bench. This isn't necessarily about creating new memories, but rather resurrecting some of our most precious thoughts from past eras. An alumni game between rivals Chicago and St. Louis. John Kelly, Mike Rupp, enjoy.
Thank you, Darren. A rather balmy 56 degrees. That puck drop. Mike Rupp, I don't think there was an empty seat at Busch Stadium today.
No, looking around, it's quite impressive to have this ballpark filled in the way that it is, and these fans are passionate to see this thing get going, so it should be a good one.
Of course, these clubs have met in the regular season over 300 times. They've met 12 times in the playoffs, including last year when the Blues won in 7. And today's ceremonial puck drop, Blues owner Tom Stillman and Cardinals president Bill DeWitt III will drop the puck between Troy Murray and Brett Hull. And these guys are great friends. They skate together with the Blues alumni, and these franchises are truly great partners here in the city of St. Louis.
And that's the thing I think you've learned with all these Winter Classics over the years is there has to be a lot of people that really spearhead that to make sure that the city gets it, and to see those two guys and what they mean to their respective franchises and to the city bringing this great event to St. Louis. It's a job well done, lots of moving parts, but they're finally here and everyone can enjoy it.
I talked to the ice guru Dan Craig before the game. Even though it's close to 60, he says the ice is in great shape.
Yeah, and talking to Dan Craig over the years, that's one thing he's always said is rain is the issue, and doesn't look like there's going to be any rain today. The temperature, hey, you've got your jacket off right now, so I'd say we're enjoying this, and everything else is great. They do a fantastic job. The ice, from our vantage point, looks fantastic.
So we're set to go here at Busch Stadium. A great start to a great weekend of hockey in St. Louis. The Blues will begin a line of Oates at center, Gretzky on left wing, and Brett Hall on right wing.
I don't know if I've ever seen 99 on left wing, but...
and our good friend Darren Pang is in goal, and he'll face those 3 Hall of Famers. Mike Liut is at the other end. And underway at Busch Stadium. And Jack O'Callahan clears the center ice. Al McInnes and Chris Pronger on defense for the Blues. Now grabbed by Oates, centers it. And the great one has it. He played in the Alumni game in Winnipeg back in October. Stolen by Hull. That's his sweet spot there. And he fires it. And Pang makes the save. Way to go, Darren Pang.
He takes a whack from the great one on the way out of his zone.
And now McInnes to center. Kachuk lost it. Then big Eric Daze. And a 2-pad slide by Mike Liut. That's old style, Mike.
There it is, Panger. We want to see it. We got to see the 2-pad stack from Darren Pang now.
Now number 24, Bernie Federko. One of 7 Hall of Famers in today's game. Now Scott Mellenby. Then Federko working low. We'll play 3 periods of running time. 20-minute periods. And Mellenby centers it. Now Federko gets it again. And Mellenby. Steve Pops, number 8 for the Blackhawks. Of course, he played for both clubs. And now the Hawks to center ice. Long pass. Burge was there. Now it's Mellenby again for the Blues. And they dump it in. Mike, what do you think of the pace so far?
Well, the one thing I think, it's funny from talking to the players down at the room, you obviously have big save right there. Oh.
Wrap around. Oh, Liut made the save, and then on the rebound, how did Dave Mackey not score?
Yeah, an open net right there. And the feeling amongst the guys in the room is that the one team, obviously St. Louis, has a loaded roster with some great Hall of Famers and great players. But the other team's got a little bit of youthful legs, so we'll see if that pace is something that benefits these Chicago Blackhawks alumni.
Darren Pang is mic'd up in the Blackhawk goal. We'll get to him in a moment. Scott Young comes in.
Scott Young looks like this week.
Panger, you made a pretty good early save on number 16. And now Turgeon jams it in. And he beats Panger. It's 1-0.
We got in his head. We were talking to Panger. Next thing you know, 5-hole opens up.
You know, JK, I can't move that way. You know, I forgot about Sly Turgeon and how slick he is with those hands. I should have known that.
Well, you were there, Panger, but he slid it between the pillows.
Yeah, well, he's always had great hands. I've always loved watching him play. I didn't expect that, though.
So Turgeon gets the goal.
Panger, Mike Liut set the bar with the 2-pad stack already, so...
I saw that. I think I was focusing on a 2-pad stack. I just forgot the stack. It's actually quite an honor seeing Mike Liut down at the other end. Uh-oh, look at Chaser!
Kelly Chase on a 2-on-1.
Here we
Let
go.
the Hawks get back. Darren, how are you enjoying the experience so far?
Uh-oh, well, I'll take a second. Oh!
And Dallas Strike.
He's
Good
loving
save
it
there.
now. Good save.
That was like a half butterfly. You know, John Kelly, it's just such an honor to be in this building and see there's so many fans. The players lined up for the anthem were overwhelmed, the crowd here at Busch Stadium.
So Turgeon has scored from Stastny and Young for those keeping score at home. And now Gino Cavallini. He's checked, and Jim Cummins. And he'll wander in. And that's off the goal post and in.
Way in.
Wow. What a shot by Cummins.
That sneaky one right there. Heard it hit the bar. I thought it went bar and out. But does not.
Well,
the old 3-on-2. I'm going to shoot it myself. And he buries it. Love it.
Looked like he got a piece of it with his right toe. Cummins had 11 goals in 199 games as a Blackhawk, and he ties this game in 1. And here come the Hawks again. And a shot. Liut makes the save on that high drive. As Troy Murray is in front, or Calder, and the Blackhawks keep it in.
that was a pretty good save right there. You always want to make a save right after you give up a goal. No matter what game you're playing, no matter how old you are.
No question about it. And a long pass. Larry Patey tracks it down.
Here we go.
In the clear. And Panger.
That's it, Panger.
That was sort of a half lean.
Well, he made the save. 5.5 gone here in the first period.
You see after the first couple shifts. Oh, nice pass.
Backdoor feed. What a goal there.
The pace
As Noonan makes it 2-1.
Well, you have the pace after a couple shifts. You start to see the guys feel comfortable, get their feet wet. You see right there, great play, and these guys, they'll start to feel more comfortable, a little more high stepping out there.
And Brian Noonan, one of the few guys that played for both teams.
That's got to feel good.
You're good, buddy.
That's got to feel good, Panger.
And Liut makes that save. Another breakaway. And Noonan is denied. Pass to center. Gretzky checked there by Reed Simpson. And now Simpson in again. High shot. Well, I tell you what, Liut, who hasn't played goal in a long time, is playing pretty well in the goal for the Blues.
He is. Just like Panger said, after let one in, you make a couple saves, start feeling the biscuit a little bit.
Now Jamal Mayer's checked. It comes ahead to Tkachuk. The man they call Walt to the net. Oh, Pang almost had that go under his glove. In Chicago with Jamal Mayers.
Oh, there
wide
it is.
Open. Shot just wide by Bursch. What a pass.
Great
These guys
pass.
still have it, Mike.
Yes, Jamal Mayers. He takes good care of himself. I'm sure he can put on the pads and play right now.
Well, of course, he won a cup with Chicago back in 2013 and lives in St. Louis. Now Bursch again. And a save, and it's covered by Liut. With Mulvey on the doorstep. Great up and down action. And the Blackhawks alumni lead the Blues 2-1.
The opening frame of this Winter Classic alumni game. It was back in 1996. Wayne Gretzky was traded to the St. Louis Blues. Didn't play a lot of games, but scored his first goal, fittingly, against Kirk McLean and the Vancouver Canucks. And here's the former Blues captain with me. Just something about you and Vancouver goalies that always went together.
Well, listen, I was fortunate to play with a lot of great players, and when you play with Hall of Fame type players, it makes the game a lot easier.
I think Brett Hull got a point on that first goal against the Vancouver Canucks. You're playing on a line with him and Adam Oates. Is there enough puck out there?
Oh, yeah. You know, Adam and I have the exact same train of thought. We get Hully the puck, because if Hully's got the puck, Hully's happy. But, you know, I've always said this. Mike Bossy and Brett Hull might have been two of the greatest goal scorers that I ever saw in my career, that anytime you got an open spot in the slot area, you just might as well go back to center ice. Both guys had an uncanny ability to put the puck in the net.
So what would Brett Hull have done with your opportunity on Darren Pang?
he probably would have scored. I'm very disappointed. I think that's my first shot in a Alumni game in 3 games, and I had a really good opportunity in the high slot, and I'm really disappointed I didn't score.
Well, congratulations, because you made history today. This is the first time Brett Hall has played a hockey game where he hasn't complained about his line mates. So, good job on that.
That's a good thing.
Thanks, Wayne. John, Mike?
Yeah, good stuff. As Wayne said, it's his 3rd Alumni game. He actually played in the game in Winnipeg on October 23rd. And he flew back to Edmonton with the club, and he told the trainers, keep my equipment, bring it to St. Louis when the Oilers come to St. Louis in December. So the Oilers trainers brought it to St. Louis on December 9th, Mike, and it's here for Wayne in St. Louis today.
That's amazing.
I mean, he can't carry his own equipment, right?
No, and I love his point he just made there. That's the banter that everybody misses. That's why this weekend's so great for these guys to get back together. When he mentions, yeah, well, when Hully gets the puck, Hully's happy. And that's fantastic.
And now Al McInnes. Hawks leading 2-1 midway through the first period. And a pass into the zone. Bruce Affleck drops it. A shot into the legs. And the Blues tie the game at 1.
That was a nice pass by Bruce Affleck, getting his wrist around and getting that coming back at a weird angle. Very good location, knowing where the player is and locating him.
A no-look feed by Affleck.
Yes, very nice.
Yeah, you know what, that kind of play, I'm watching Bruce Affleck and the longtime Blue alumni Larry Patey. He's been a resident here in St. Louis for so long. I really thought he was going to go to the glove side, Mike, and this is called cheating. I thought my 5-hole was so small nothing could get in there.
Well, it did, and Patey ties it. Larry Patey has the club record to this day of 23 shorthanded goals. Oh, what a hit there. And a penalty coming up here, and we're going to see a penalty shot.
Wow.
That was the first hit of the game.
And that was a hit. Well, Cummins with a pretty good hit on Garth Butcher. Are you set, Mr. Pang?
Wow, that is physical, huh? I'm not real set right now. I'm just still watching Garth Butcher go down. Uh-oh, here. I'll give you the play-by-play here, guys. Here comes Big Garth. What's the big guy got?
And you got more there.
Yeah.
Good save, Darren.
Way to stand your ground there, Panger.
I gave him stick side, and he took it, and then he missed. You know, Big Garth, he might have still been stung from that hit. He comes in, he settles it down slowly, and he's going stick side the whole way. That's my weak spot, too.
Garth Butcher, one of 6 former Blues captains in today's game. So it's 2-2. And now Gino Cavallini. That's blocked by Steve Post. Well, that hit should fire up the competitive level in this game, I would think, Mike.
Yeah, I would think so. And you're talking about hockey players who, I think over the years, it's a competition. You could throw tape balls in the garbage in the locker room. So I think as this game goes on, you're going to see guys hustling even more and really trying to get it going. You can hear the crowd getting into it right now.
And now Brian Noonan gets it back to the goal. You know, Mike, I talked to Brian Sutter. Of course, he played for the Blues, was a captain, coached the Blues, coached the Hawks. He said when he played, especially in Chicago on a Sunday night, against his brothers, he said, I thought my brothers were going to kill me. I mean, that's a brother talking about a brother. That's how intense the rivalry was and is.
That's awesome. And that's awesome. That's a pretty intense family that you're talking about right there as well. But, you know, in talking to Kelly Chase, the one thing you mentioned is, hey, there's certain guys that you didn't hit. You didn't hit Mario. You didn't hit Gretz. He said there's a lot of guys on teams, but when we played the Blackhawks, we hit everybody. We wanted everybody to feel everything we had. And it was cool hearing the stories from those guys because this is intense. These guys, the history that they've had, now seeing them come out here having fun, but hey, still throwing the odd hit like you saw there from Cummins.
Hey, fellas, how about that? Oates and Gretzky behind the net and Hull in the slot.
Good luck, Darren. Good luck.
I'm surprised more teams don't go behind the net. It's hard to find the guy back there, especially Wayne.
Yeah, he had an office back there for his Hall of Fame career, didn't he? Now Federico coming in, but the Hawks break it up.
Hey, Banger, with the shorter depth of the net, how much will Wayne Gretzky just absolutely abuse the other team's goalies nowadays?
Well, if you put the goal line back to where it was and you have that shallow depth, I mean, there's no stopping because you try to flush him on his forehand, he was better on his backhand. You try to flush him on his backhand, he could do whatever he wanted on the forehand. So, I mean, he just used that to defend himself so well. By the way, Ed Stanowski is now in goal for the Blues. Mike Liut played very well in the first half of this first period. Stanowski played in 219 games with the Blues. And we get a whistle here. So the Blues and Blackhawks on a gorgeous afternoon at Busch Stadium. They are tied at 2.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. 2-2 between the Blackhawks and Blues alumni. I am joined by Murray Bannerman. First up, Murray, your thoughts on Darren Pang's performance here in the first period?
Oh, Darren's doing well. But he's got them fooled with his lack of acrobatics, I guess you could say. I mean, he's made some great saves just by standing there, and you know, sometimes that's all it takes, to be honest with you.
Now, you were stacking the pads last year when the Hawks played in the outdoor game in St. Paul, in that alumni game. I remember you said before that contest you only had like one workout or one practice. Did you go with the same regimen this time around?
I figured it didn't work out too badly last time, so I'd go with the same one. Hopefully it works out again this time. These games are always fun. There's always a little difference in them, and a little bit of luck as a goaltender goes into it too.
You were obviously in net in the 80s when this rivalry really got going. Is there a series or a game in particular that stands out in your mind?
I wouldn't say a series. There's multiple games against these guys, and most of them were in St. Louis. St. Louis back in the 80s was a tough place to play, in particular in the playoffs. You had an older building that was always hot. You had poor ice conditions at best, and you played a team that was always, you know, they dumped and chased a lot, so the puck was in your zone a lot. So it was always a grind and a struggle. And some of those series in the 80s when we played St. Louis were, you know, it was everything we could do to get by them, and it takes a lot out of a hockey team, those type of series.
Murray Bannerman, thanks for joining us. Good luck in that second period when you're in the crease.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Let's head back upstairs to John Kelly.
All right, Pat. And he had a lot of battles against Mike Liut and the Blues in the early 80s. Saturdays in St. Louis at the arena, Sundays at the stadium. Just great weekends of hockey.
Yeah, no, and you heard him say it right there. Sometimes you just got to stand there. That was the best part of that. It's just a goalie being honest. Sometimes you just got to stand there and let it hit you. Love it.
There's Adrian Aucoin for Chicago. Turgeon and Patey have scored for the Blues. Cummins and Noonan for the Blackhawks. As the Blues drop it off to Jeff Brown. Still coaching in the Ontario League with the 67s, his hometown. And of course his young son just drafted this past summer. One of 5 first-rounders from St. Louis, drafted last summer.
And how impressive is that?
It's amazing.
The way, and what you're looking at on the ice right now with this alumni is a huge part of that. And it's, oh, I didn't even know he put that one in right there. Kyle Calder.
Tough angle.
That was a heck of a shot right there.
Was it ever?
Oh, off the mask.
Yeah, Kyle Calder just found a little spot there just under the bar and in. And you know, I hate to say this, but that's where a guy that's Scott Darling or Ben Bishop, these guys that are 6'7" or 6'8", they can go on their knees and still cover that top part. That's a great shot, though.
So the Hawks take a 3-2 lead. And now Bruce Affleck dumps it in. Brandon Mulvey back for the Blackhawks. Noonan. He gets it back. And the late man, Daze. Pretty good pad save there by Stanowski.
Very nice. You saw some wheels there by Brent Sopel, also driving to the back door.
Well, Sopel a pass into the zone. Daze one-timer. And Stanowski got over.
Wow. Daze was a MVP of an All-Star game back in his day before his back injury took him out. He can shoot it.
Played his entire career with the Blackhawks.
He was a fun one to watch. I remember being a big kid growing up. You looked up to those kind of players, and Eric Daze had a number of very good years. It would have been interesting to see if he could have stayed a little more healthy, how he was a real big power forward, powerful man.
And a drop pass to Gretzky, but he's checked. And now the Blackhawks into the zone to Burish. Broken up in front. Look out here, Darren Pang. Gretzky. Now for Oates. Out high to Salvador. And now the Blues cough it up. And Jamal Mayers. Played for both clubs. Works for the Blackhawks. Lives in St. Louis. So he has some mixed emotions out here today.
Yes, and he was one of them that got arguably the loudest ovation at the beginning, and it shows how much the fans love him here in St. Louis.
And now it's nudged ahead to Gretzky. Late in the first period. And a pass by Salvador, blocked there. And O'Callaghan. Long feed to Burish. Good defensive coverage here by the Blues, Mike.
Yep,
Three
check the
guys
house.
back.
Oh,
diving save by Stanowski.
He's made about 3 fantastic saves right now.
That's a big one there, late in the period.
And now ahead to Kachuk.
There's
one guy back.
Walt.
Big Walt to drive, and Panger got a piece of it.
He did. He took Bannerman's advice, just stood there, and it got a piece of him and went wide. That way, Panger.
You guys see that angle?
Perfect. You don't have to move if you got a good angle.
Now Federko in front. Pang down, makes a save. And 25 to go in the period. Blackhawks play it back to Dave Mackey. In front, off a Hawk stick, and under the pad of Stanowski. This might be the save of the period, Mike, on Big Walt.
Yes, Big Walt coming down the wing there. Gives a half clapper. Panger's absolutely right. You get a good angle, you don't have to do much, and it hits him, goes wide.
So a great effort by our good friend Darren Pang.
Way to go, Stevie.
His club with a 3-2 lead after 20 minutes of this fantastic alumni game here at Busch Stadium.
Through one period at Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, the Chicago Blackhawks, a goal by Kyle Calder, lead the St. Louis Blues 3-2 in the Winter Classic alumni game. Of note, there was only one penalty called in that opening frame, which is very unusual for these two franchises. It's a home and home to remember from 1991. With Bernie Federko's number retired before the game at a packed house, Brett Hull scored goal number 79 in the first, but Steve Larmer scored his second of the game in the middle stanza, and the Hawks hung on to win 3-2 with the teams combining for 96 penalty minutes. The next night in Chicago, Rod Brindamore, 2 for boarding, Chelio scores. The Hawks take a 1-0 lead. 16 minutes are handed out in an all-out brawl 3 minutes later. 13 more penalties are called for a total of 26 in the first period alone. Second period featured another line brawl. Scott Stevens would fight Dave Manson in the main event, and the Hawks went on to win 6-4. The 8-game season series featured almost 900 minutes in penalties. Darren Millard here at Busch Stadium along with Gino Cavallini and Troy Murray. I'm impressed that you guys are willing to stand beside each other after what you went through back in 1991. You won the series. So
water under the bridge. Water under the bridge.
There's a lot of water there. A lot of water.
There was no love lost back then, but we're all friends now.
Can you even recognize that type of hockey today?
No, you know what I mean? Being one of the broadcasters for the Blackhawks, for me, I kind of still relate the game back to the way when I played it, in the 80s and the mid-90s. It's a different game right now. And then, you know, you look at the animosity that we had back in the days, the Central Division rival and the Norris Division rivals that was back in the day was just nasty. You don't really have that. It's a different game, but boy, it's still fun to play. And to think about the old days,
I know.
The great rivalry.
The rivalries back then were settled. They weren't settled playing hockey, put it that way. Now the games are settled playing real hockey.
So is it true that you were involved in what really started the big brawl in the second game on St. Patrick's Day?
I've had enough kids I've coached in Chicago over the last 5 or 6 years that have told me that it started with a Steve Larmer cross-check to my mouth.
I don't remember anything.
And that was that's when all the excitement happened.
It was fun in those Norris Division days.
Fun?
I had fun.
I wouldn't call it fun.
Okay, were you ever scared?
I was going to say, the great thing is now when you talk about the stories and you relate it to the past, you hear their side, their perspective is the exact same as ours. You hated to go in there. You were scared. You knew how big of a battle it was going to be, but they had the same fears and worries as we did going into those series, but you never kind of thought it that way.
Yeah, my only fear was having to run a guy like Ben Wilson over, knowing I was coming out of the corner with a stick sticking out of my back.
Tell me the story about going to your dressing room in Chicago during that blind brawl.
I remember it vividly because I was going downstairs. I ended up with 27 stitches, but I didn't need Novocaine because all the beer that was thrown over me on the way down the stairs. The doctor said he didn't need to prep it. There was enough alcohol on it.
One of the greatest traditions of the old Chicago Stadium was that climb up and down the stairs in behind the nets.
You always like being the home team. Congratulations on this and your careers as well, and getting through that St. Patrick's Day massacre.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us on.
Troy Murray and Gino Cavallini. They can laugh about it now as the St. Louis Blues trail the Chicago Blackhawks in Busch Stadium.
The fabulous Rocket Richard. He scored.
The Rocket, the Golden Jet, Boom Boom, the Flower, the Hammer, the King, the Great One, Moose, Super Mario, and of course, Mr. Hockey. To every perfect nickname, we say thank you, because really, you were never a nickname at all.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. 3-2 Blackhawks with the lead over the Blues Alumni. First period intermission. I'm joined by former Blackhawk and former Blue Jamal Mayers. How about the ovation you had? That had to be something special to be out there and soak this in from the Busch faithful.
Yeah, that was very special. Obviously, you know, I basically grew up here as a youngster here, you know, better parts of 10 years but now wearing the Blackhawks logo, I thought I'd get booed, but you know, give them respect and certainly heartfelt thank you to them. My son was able to hear that, so that means a lot that my girls too were able to hear that.
Now, you've been in some great battles on both sides of the ledger in this series. Which one stands out most to you?
Well, obviously, you know, playing them in the playoffs, the Blackhawks, that is. Anytime you get to face a team in the playoffs, and, you know, anytime you're playing in the United Center, it was always difficult, you know, to building the play-in. So I certainly relish my opportunity to get onto the Blackhawks and enjoy that crowd, and it all starts with the national anthem.
Last one, we hear you might have something up your sleeve for the great one here in the second period. Is that true?
Yeah, you know, well, I got to get the boys going, so we'll see. If they end up tying it up, we might have to change the momentum a little bit.
All right, Chandler, good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
We're coming back with the drop of the puck for the second period, live from Busch Stadium.
Along with Mike Rupp, John Kelly back at Busch Stadium, ready for the second period. The Hawks with a 3-2 lead. Garth Butcher of the Blues has been so kind to wear the microphone for us here in the second period.
I would have liked to have him mic'd when he got hit in the first period, though, by Jim Cummins. That would have been real nice, but we'll take what we can get.
How you doing, boys? You're ready to go up here next. Hopefully you don't hear more than just heavy breathing here.
But you popped right up after that hit, Butchie. It was a pretty good one.
I saw the other guy, but I don't know, Cummins never did that before.
So I heard through the grapevine that you were the king of one-liners, so we're expecting a lot right now.
Well, I'm trying to take it easy. It's hard to speak when you're having a hard time breathing, so I haven't been able to say as much today as normal.
Garth Butcher on the Blues bench. He'll wear that mic for us here in the second period. And Jack O'Callahan for the Blackhawks. That's kept in by Fedorko. And now centered Mellanby, quick shot. And a rebound. Tie the game. Was that Federico?
Yep.
Is he picking on you, Bernie? Come on, you got to leave the old guy alone. How are you, my friend? Boy, Brownie.
Great falling down shot right there.
Was it ever?
Check out the replay of this.
We got the speedy young guys here coming up now. This will be a challenge.
Oh, that started with a pass from Wayne's office behind the net.
Whoa.
That's a good little exchange right there.
And he got it right under the stick of Murray Bannerman, who's taken over in goal here in the second period.
Hey, sorry. Don't say that, Daze. I'm on mic.
And now Daze has it. Here they come, Butchie. And a shot wide at Chris Mason. The most tie of the game on the goal by Federico from Melanie Gretzky.
Adam Burst is going to get a little antsy here. He's had those two great chances in the first period. Oh, that's awesome.
Keith Tkachuk is on the ice now. As you know, he wears number 7, but he's now wearing number 38 in honor of his great friend, the late Pavel Dimitrov.
So awesome. So awesome.
They were great line mates, Mike, and great friends during their tenure in St. Louis.
Whew. Yeah, and obviously Dimitrov will be a huge part of this weekend, so it's a very classy move there by Big Walt and his teammates.
Of course, Keith's son, Matthew, great young player in Calgary. First rounder this year.
Yeah, and to go back, I think we got interrupted with a goal last time, but the St. Louis first rounders that were in from the draft this year, I mean, it's incredible. And Matthew Tkachuk, I watched him last year in the playoffs, the OHL playoffs, and I'll tell you what, I've never seen in CHL a line like his line with Christian Dvorak, Mitch Marner, and of course Matthew Tkachuk. Unbelievable talent, and they're sprouting them up here in St. Louis. They're starting to really make their mark in the hockey world.
And you know, Mike, I'm sure you'd agree, but the players today, as that's tipped wide, when they come into the league, even at 18, they're ready to play. When you were a young guy, I'm sure it took you to 22, 23.
Yeah, and what? Oh, nice.
I think Stastny got the rebound there, and it's 4-3 St. Louis.
We're going to be with the over 60 crowd, so
That's a nice finish right there. Great pass. Being able to get that upstairs. See another two-pad stack coming from the goaltenders here today. But to your point, I think all of these guys would say that when they came into the league, unless you're a top-end absolute superstar, you have to work your way up through that lineup. I think nowadays it's done differently. You have to work for what you get. Nothing's given to you. That's never changed. But the fact of the matter is you're put in a situation to succeed now. And these young players are coming up. They're not playing the fourth line limited minutes. They're put in positions to excel at what they're the best at. And I think it's something new that the NHL's doing now. It's really developing these kids at a quicker rate and at a much younger age.
So the Hall of Famer, Peter Stastny. There's a penalty against the Blues, who lead 4-3, but now will face a penalty shot. And O'Callahan is down and getting an extra cross check.
Chaser taking the penalty right there.
That's a shocker, guys. Chaser in the box.
Well, he had over 2,000 minutes in his career, about 170 fights, so he might have spent as much time in the box as he did on the ice, to be honest with you.
Oh.
So a breakaway and a save by Mason.
The report back is Jason said it was a dive, guys.
You just think about it, though, and obviously the fans in St. Louis got to see it, but when you look back in all those minutes and penalties and fights, you talk about with Chaser, Twisters on the same team.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
So Chris Mason makes the save on O'Callahan. And the Blues lead it 4-3. What a beautiful day here at Busch Stadium. Temperature close to 60 degrees. And that is kept in by Chicago, but now recovered by St. Louis. And Dallas Drake, he doesn't clear it. Drop back for Pops. Worked in front now. Cummins was in the area, but the Blues break it up.
You know what I've noticed in this period already, and you just can't take the competitive nature.
Oh, Kelly Chase with a nice snapshot.
Great shot on the move. He wanted that one, the indirect pass off the boards. Kelly takes it in and buries it, but the competitive nature of these guys is just taking over the pace now. John, this period is much quicker clip, I believe.
Yeah.
They're really starting. I think we're going to keep seeing it go like that the rest of the way.
So Kelly Chase makes it 5-3. That's 17 career goals, but looked like a goal scorer there.
He did. He wanted it too. You saw him in the neutral zone, kind of jumping to the hole there, looking for that outlet pass, and gets it, comes in, shoots it in stride. That's the way to do it.
And again, Garth Butcher is mic'd up for the St. Louis Blues. Butchie, did you see a lot of the goal scoring from Chase when you played?
No, that was a beauty, though.
Was it ever?
Chaser should have just played longer. His skills are improving every day.
Garth Butcher, how is it for you to come back to St. Louis and play in this alumni game?
As you guys are well aware over the years, I love coming back to St. Louis. I love the guys here. Always just been treated like gold. So looking forward to the rest of this weekend, especially after we get this game over with.
Yeah. Butchie, we talked earlier, and Darren Millard in the first intermission talked to Gino about that home-and-home series in the early 90s. What was it like playing the Blackhawks when you played at the arena on a Saturday and in Chicago on a Sunday as the Hawks score here?
Well, you know what, it was, as you guys are well aware, small little rink and lots of emotion, and the Chicago used to come out of their building pretty fast and pretty hard, and those were wars, so it was lots of fun to do it then.
And I was speaking to Scott Stevens earlier today, and the one thing that he mentioned was that in Chicago, the infamous coming out of the locker room, and I never got to play in that building, and everyone always says, you ever play in Chicago Stadium? But coming out of that locker room, walking up the stairs, the fans on top of you, it almost has an old Coliseum feel as far as it's like a gladiator days. I mean, that's what I think when I see pictures of it. Well, what was the feel inside of it?
You're okay.
And as Garth said, that the corners in Chicago were a lot more shallow. You could not avoid contact at the Chicago Stadium. And when these clubs played, there was a lot of contact. Here's Gretzky.
Oh, there he is.
Simpson has made it a 5-4 game. And Daze flips it onto center ice. 2-on-1 for Chicago. And a pass by Burge to Meyers.
Just rolled on him.
Yep. And now the Blues get back. Here's Meyers again. Good shot. And Chris Mason handled that.
You have to stay here.
And Scott Mellenby. With the Blues leading 5-4.
Oh, here we go.
Trying to make it caught in a bad line change here, Mike.
Yeah, some odd man rushes.
And Meyers. Oh, another good save by Mason. He's been good.
Yes. This Mason looks like he can still play right now in the National Hockey League. And right there, you see 37. Adam Burns has had a slew of opportunities here. And he had that pass to Jamal Meyers that just kind of rolls on Jammer, and he's not able to put that one home.
Yeah, Burge could have 2 or 3 goals tonight. Now Fedorko, who has scored today. But Burge gets it back for Chicago. And now Fedorko on the forecheck. And Kachuk in front. And the Hawks break it up. Bernie Federko, as you know, Mike, a lot like Gretzky, he loved to set up behind the net. Teams don't do that anymore. It's really amazing.
Yeah, and I don't know, when we were talking to Panger last period about it, you know, that with the nets being more slender now and the width not being there, you're not able to shield yourself back there from forecheckers as much, but it also allows you to make passes from behind the net a lot easier. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It has its pluses and its minuses, but I would have loved to have seen what a player like Federico or Wayne Gretzky could have done behind that net with the shortness as far as making passes out in front.
I think somehow those guys would have found a way. They always did find a way. Blues leading here 5-4 in the second.
Nine goals scored, halfway mark of this St. Louis Blues, Chicago Blackhawks 2017 Winter Classic Alumni game. Darren Millard here between the benches with a couple of Hall of Famers, Al McInnes and Chris Pronger. I'm going to ask you this question, and because I don't want him to do it, because he'll actually hurt me here. But what's the thing you admired about Chris's game the most when you guys played the game?
Well, for me, it was how he controlled the game. Anytime he was on the ice, he controlled the pace of the game. Just the way he played, he can change the pace of the game, and it was remarkable how he was able to do that.
Same question to you, but you can't say slap shot. But what was the thing that really grabbed you about Al McInnes' game?
Well, I think obviously he's regarded for his offensive ability, but I think his defensive abilities got overlooked because of that. He had a big shot and whatnot. Excellent defensive player, made a great first pass. Obviously very easy to play with.
Is it true that you said you would not play unless you could be partnered with Al?
I wrote it in my contract.
It's very unusual. You won the Norris Trophy the year before. Chris won the Hart Trophy and the Norris Trophy. That's so unusual.
It is, you know, and I think if we both look back, we would love to, you know, trade those in for a Stanley Cup. We've had some great teams. Unfortunately, sometimes we got very good teams at the wrong time. But it was great while it lasted, and we had a lot of fun.
Do you think Chris is mellowed?
Just a touch. Did you see him out there in the last shift? He's starting to get going here.
Were you mean or were you dirty?
Hybrid system. I like to use the gray areas of the rule book.
We only have a couple more minutes here with you guys, but just looking back, and what St. Louis is now doing, producing players in the National Hockey League in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, if you look over the last 12, 15 years with a lot of the alumni staying here and getting involved and giving back to youth hockey and, you know, putting their time in coaching. We have plenty of ice now. And at the end of the day, it's the kids that are willing to do it. You got to have passion and love for the game, and the kids that are playing have that.
This is the best you and I have ever got along.
And we should hug it out afterwards.
Okay. I'll throw it back up to John. Okay.
Oh, good stuff, Darren. Chris Pronger's last NHL game was in Winnipeg in November of 2011. Here's Chase, a shot. And a good save there by Bannerman. But Mike Ruff, he's in such good shape. I think if it weren't for those concussions, I think Chris Pronger could still be playing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You see him, saw him down there by the locker room. Looks like you wouldn't be surprised if he was still playing nowadays. But he was, how do I say this, a very intimidating player to play against because he was so skilled he could beat you that way. But if you ever tried to play him, play off of him a little bit, he'll make you look silly physically too. He was a mean player when he was on the ice, and he just battled. So he had a great career, and he was a great defenseman.
And to further that point, Ken Hitchcock said the other day, of course, the Blues coach, about Pronger, he said he brought an attitude that forced you to play with an attitude. In other words, as you said, he brought everybody into the battle.
He did, and the way he would carry himself on the ice too is he'd go in there and he'd have a shift where he was the absolute lightning rod, and then he'd skate around and almost with an attitude of what are you going to do about it? And it really created that image of the team he was playing for, and it made it. But the thing about it is he wasn't a one-dimensional guy, obviously, so he could go out there and he could lead that power play and defend with the best of them. It was impressive how he could put all that stuff together.
A lot of great memories here in St. Louis at Busch Stadium as these guys hug it out. Blues lead 5-4.
Back at Busch Stadium, Ben Eager gets the equalizer for the visitors from Chicago. It is 5-5 between the Blackhawks and Blues alumni. I'm joined by a former Blue and a former Blackhawk alumni, Brian Noonan. Good to see you. Got some chemistry out there with Daze and Reed Simpson. Have you guys been working out a little bit in Chicago?
We try to skate. Every Wednesday we have a skate out in Bensenville, so we've been on the ice a little bit with each other. It's kind of showing a little bit today.
You played, obviously, for both of these teams under Mike Keenan. What was Keenan like before a Blackhawks-Blues battle?
Honestly, I think he was the same every battle. He was very intense. He didn't like to lose. He'd do anything to win. And when you don't win, he pushes it pretty hard. And everything's good when you do win. But no matter who you played against, he just wanted to win.
Do you have a favorite memory from your battles on either side of the legend?
Just playoff games against the Blues all the time. I mean, every game was a battle. People who've watched know it's a great rivalry, and it was awesome to be part of.
Good news is there's no Keenan curfew tonight. You can stay out as late as you want and reminisce about this one.
And it's New Year's Eve, and hopefully it's a victory. We couldn't win last year in Minnesota. We didn't get it done. Hopefully we can pull it out today.
Brian, thanks for joining us. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks.
John Kelly, back to you.
All right, Pat, and thanks to Brian, as Eager has tied the game. You know, Mike, I can't imagine what it would be like to play for one of these clubs, and then just like that, you get traded, and you're in the other locker room.
That'd be insane. It would be very difficult to look at it and think, I don't know, how do you get past that right away? Just have that discussion right away? Hey, we've been taught to hate each other, but now we got to love each other. I'm not sure. It's a very awkward thing, but there's players, obviously, in this game, like we just mentioned, that they have done that, and it's a very unique situation.
Well, I'm sure you've done that as a player, a former player. You've had a fight with a guy, and now suddenly you're a roommate or a teammate.
Yeah, it's happened with individuals like that as far as individual players. And usually those guys you hate the most are the best teammates when you get them. When you get them on your team, the guys you enjoy the most.
And I don't need to tell you this, Mike, but from my experience in the NHL, the tough guys are always the nice guys. They really are.
Yeah, I don't know why that is exactly. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I haven't really met a bad guy in the game of hockey ever.
Yeah.
But those guys are kind of the happy-go-lucky guys, and they're appreciative of where they are and what they've done. I think that goes a long way.
And Scott Young comes in and rips it high over Bannerman's shoulder.
There was one thing, though, with maybe these guys could comment on, is when I was, I won a cup in New Jersey, and later on in my career, I went and played for the Rangers, and that is a no-no. It's a big rivalry just like this.
Just like St. Louis, Chicago.
And I felt like I really needed to...
That was off the goalpost.
I felt like I really needed to separate and let my new teammates know, hey, I'm with you guys now. So there was a number of times there where even St. Louis' own Cam Jansen's playing for the Devils, a former teammate of mine. I played Cam, and a lot of fighting and stuff going on. I ended up shoving Marty Brodeur in the playoffs, and it really was. I had to feel like I had to, on the ice, cut the ties that I'm with the Rangers now. It's a tough spot. Then you got to patch up some relationships later.
And Darren Pang is down near the benches. And Darren, of course, you played your entire career with Chicago, but now work here in St. Louis. But these guys do have a way of mending fences, don't they?
Well, absolutely they do. I mean, this is an alumni game. Many of these guys have played, along the same teams, no matter what level. You're talking to guys that might have even played junior hockey together or swapped. There's a couple of guys like Brian Noonan that played for both teams, but I think overall the NHL alumni is a special alumni because of the game that we played, because of the respect that we have for one another, and after all, this is fun. And you mentioned, obviously, for me playing for Chicago, I was quite frankly overwhelmed by the response of the crowd just walking around. People here in St. Louis are special, and they're showing it. The Blackhawks, John, were lined up for the anthem, and they were just overwhelmed with the response in the crowd, and just how many people are right here for an alumni game. So it'll never happen again in my life, I know that. So this is incredibly special.
Here's Chase in front, a shot, and that is in. I think Barrett Jackman.
check out on the replay here. Barrett Jackman getting involved, but Kelly Chase,
another good
offensive contributions today. It's been all over the place. That's Jackman using his body right there. Yeah. Using his body to shield off, it looked to be Ben Eager, and ends up Barrett.
And of course, Barrett wrapped up his great career last year in Nashville after playing with the St. Louis Blues for over 800 games. Only Bernie Federko's played more games in a Blues uniform than Jackman.
That's awesome. And Barrett Jackman played the game hard. He played it right. We all remember when he broke in this league, he was Rookie of the Year, winning that Calder Trophy. And to stay in one place for that long is certainly special, especially nowadays in those years that Barrett Jackman was playing. You don't see it very often.
And there are the numbers for Dirk, over 900 games. And Darren Pang, as you know, Barrett lives in St. Louis and has become a big part of this St. Louis community.
Well, he's one of the best character guys you could ask for here, but let's check out Grant Mulvey, who once had 5 goals in one game.
And Mason has the answer against Grant Mulvey. Trying to go 5-hole.
That Mason still got some game, doesn't he, fellas?
Yeah, he's played well.
I think Granny, they call him Granny. Grant Mulvey sort of said, I'm going 5-hole. I think Mace read that pretty easily, didn't he? Usually when they wait that long, they go high to the glove side, is what I found out. You drop your glove. But instead, he tried to jam it through the legs. Good save by Mason.
So the goal by Jackman has put the Blues ahead 6-5. And a drive by O'Callahan was blocked. And Daze's pass back, picked off by the Blues. In the dying seconds of the second. Jeff Brown to the net. And kicked away by Bannerman at the buzzer. Tell you what, Mike and Darren, the goaltenders in this game have been exceptional.
I've been surprised. I mean, I really have. They've been very good.
And we've had a lot of fun today at Busch Stadium. High fives all around. A very competitive game here at Busch Stadium. We played 2 periods, and the Blues with a 6-5 lead.
One-goal game after the first period, and the Blues continue to hold on to a 1-goal advantage after 2 in the 2017 NHL Winter Classic alumni game at Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis. Remember this? Started in 1989. Adam Oates to Brett Hull, and the combination clicked for 3 years, putting up amazing numbers. Every now and then, Oates was allowed to shoot the puck on his own, but for the most part, it was the combination of pass and one-timer. The totals are incredible when you look at the assists that Adam Oates piled up while playing with Brett Hull, and then the goals that Brett Hull was able to accumulate. And at the end of those 3 years, 228 goals, 228 assists between Brett Hull and Adam Oates. Darren Millard joined by the 2 St. Louis Blues alumni. Now, it's not often where I can interview 2 Hall of Famers with those type of numbers, and you guys aren't even the highest point producer on your line.
Yeah, how about that, eh? When we found out, we were both nervous today.
Wayne Gretzky's out there. I mean, that's got to be a thrill even for you.
Absolutely. It's, this whole thing is a thrill. Look, you're in Busch Stadium playing hockey outside against an iconic franchise like the Blackhawks. You're playing with Wayne Gretzky and a whole bunch of other Hall of Famers. It's the time of our lives.
Looks like you've been working out a little bit. Getting in shape for this thing?
Well, I thought I was, but the way I feel out there, I think I went the wrong way.
He's a skills guy now, working with players all over the National Hockey League. Tell me what you'd say about Brett Hull's game during the heyday.
During the heyday, I probably wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
Obviously Brett's one of the smartest of all time, one of the best goal scorers, if not the. He knew where to go. He played a long time in a when the league was pretty physical, and was able to survive and get the goals and produce the big goals. I don't know what you would change on that.
What was it about Adam's contribution playing with you that made it work so effectively?
Well, first of all, undoubtedly, you put him right up there with Wayne Gretzky on smartest players to ever play the game. You just watch him play, and the plays he made, not only offensively but defensively. And then when you put a combination like that for a guy who loves to score goals and a guy who loves to pass the puck, I mean, it was a match made in heaven.
Is it true, we were speculating, and we shouldn't have done that, but with Wayne Gretzky earlier, that this is the first time in history where you haven't complained about who you're playing with out there?
Well, we actually said that yesterday when we were skating. When they said that, we said, well, who are we going to pitch at? It's like, Wayne, what are you doing? Great play.
Brett Hull, Adam Oates, thanks for this, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Brett Hull, Adam Oates, 2 Hall of Famers in the St. Louis Blues as we go to the third period from Busch Stadium in St. Louis in the NHL Alumni game.
Well, from iconic Busch Stadium, a Bridgestone Winter Classic alumni game, I could use those little nets that those fellas are playing on, but certainly at this point, very pleased to be joined by 2 great number 7s. The Blues a couple of years ago honored the great number 7s, and to my right here is the great Red Baron, Red Berenson, and how does that feel, wearing that kind of jacket, being here at Busch Stadium? You've gone through a lot in your career, Red. How does this rank?
Well, it's pretty special. You know, I've been lucky to be in some of the outdoor games, and I never dreamt you'd have. But St. Louis has become a legitimate big-time hockey town.
Well, when you think of being behind the bench with guys like Wayne Gretzky and Adam Oates and Brett Hull, and you know it, you just keep throwing them out there, Red?
Well, it's fun. You know, we have a coaching system here. Brian Sutter's running the defense, or Brian Sutter's running the forwards. I'm running the defense, and Ungi's running the goalies. So we're all having fun, and our players are having fun.
And once traded for one another. I know that transition couldn't have been easy, Gary, but man, did you ever ingratiate yourself with these great fans of St. Louis, and they still love you here?
Well, like Red said, the way that hockey has caught on in St. Louis since '67 when they came in here. Red was their leader, their captain. It was tough for me to come in here as a young kid and try and replace that, which I never did. But then I got an opportunity to when Red got traded back here. So we ended up playing with each other and became pretty good friends. A lot of times when you get traded for the other guy, you're usually running them and the other team. But we became friends, and it worked out great.
Well, what a thrill being with you both, Gary and Red, and just a real pleasure. So thanks for being here. And it's a 6-5 game right now. The Blues are leading. The third period coming up next, right here from Busch Stadium.
Along with Mike Rupp, I'm John Kelly back in the broadcast booth here at Busch Stadium, ready for the third period. The Blues leading 6-5. Well, Blackhawk defenseman Steve Conroy has been nice enough to wear the microphone for us in the third. Steve, can we expect a Blackhawk push here in the final frame?
Yeah, I think so. You know, the pace has been good so far, and it's only going to get better.
And Gretzky starts with Hall, a shot, and that goes out of play.
I think I got a piece of that, John.
Did you? Nice.
Nice.
Normally, you don't want to block a shot from Brett Hull, but in this game, why not?
That's right.
Steve, how have you enjoyed the weekend?
Oh, it's been great. You know, the Blues organization has done a great job here, very well taken care of, and just a first-class run event.
I'm watching this, and the one thing I'm thinking, ooh, as you see right there, a big shot. What, with these one-piece sticks, if that man right there, Brett Hull, had that one piece in his heyday, how hard do you think he'd shoot that puck?
It had to be over 100 miles an hour. Not a better one-timer when he played.
It just blows my
jump
mind.
up on this play and make it a 4-on-2.
Oh, why not? It just blows my mind, though, John, that these guys can shoot the puck back then and have an Al McGinnis, guys who played, you know, their whole career without using these type one-piece sticks. You know, Brett Hull did later in his career, but how hard they must be able to shoot that puck if they had that kind of technology, though. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a mind-boggling to think as Jeff Brown lost it, and the Blackhawks have a 2-on-0 here. Troy Murray in front.
Daniel Carcillo.
Wow. Marty Brodeur stretching, but can't get it.
Way to go, boys.
Well,
and it's 6-6.
He probably would like to have stretched a little bit more before he gets a 2-on-0.
Exactly.
That one came at him hot.
1-on-3. All you do is you keep backing in.
There we go.
Well, you can see how hard that is to stretch down to the left. And Carcillo had to get a lot on that one because Brodeur was almost there with his left skate.
Martin Brodeur's last NHL game was almost 2 years ago to this day in Anaheim with the Blues on January 2nd. of 2015. And your former teammate, Mike, in New Jersey.
Yeah, you know what? The one thing about Marty Brodeur, too, is he's just a great guy. And you talk about, we mentioned before, about how just guys are just very welcoming and very, it's just a good group of guys on most hockey teams. But Marty Brodeur, I remember coming in as a rookie in New Jersey, and he's the most approachable guy probably on the team. And the fact that you go to Marty Brodeur in the middle of a game and to ask him about, you know, hey, this is what I'm seeing, what are you thinking, blah, blah, blah. He never acted too busy for anybody, and that's the thing that certainly stuck out and always has with Marty Brodeur.
And what a save there on the rebound by Brodeur.
Those kind of saves stood out.
Yes, they did.
Marty with a nice push. Panger left to right. Big blocker save there by Brodeur.
Really good save. He's had to stretch big time. I think the Blues deep got to tighten things up for him over there. They should be reminded that 691 wins. And with my 27, that was 718 total. He's got a pretty good move to that one side.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing out there. Now Jackman for Frederico. Jimmy Wade in goal for the Hawks.
Oh,
and the rebound is tipped in by Tkachuk.
He dabbed. I wonder. That's awesome. Way to plant yourself in front of the net there by Keith Tkachuk.
So first a big save by Brodeur at one end, and then Tkachuk makes it a 7-6 game.
What a save right there.
And Bernie Frederico just fed it to the middle right there. And oh, big Walt. I got to tell you, Darren Millard and I are here between the benches. And to begin the period, Keith Tkachuk kept saying, I got Gretz. And he just loved that. He says, how many times do you get to say that? I got Gretz. Gretz comes on, I've got him. They're having a ball down here.
Yeah, it looks like it from up here. So the goal by Tkachuk makes it 7-6. And now O'Callahan to center. Noonan tips it in. Daze, and made a save there by Brodeur.
It's a heavy shot.
Was it ever?
Jumped the hole there by Eric Daze.
And now the Blues attacking. As Scott Young drops one to the corner for Turgeon. He's looked really good tonight, Pierre Turgeon. Number 77.
Yes, he has. I just think there's some of those players that are just that talented. It's like riding a bike for them, you know? You just give them a stick and throw a puck out there, and they can do some magnificent things.
Now the Blues into the zone. Darren Pang, you mentioned Marty Brodeur's 691 victories. There's another goal by the Blues.
That was Turgeon.
Turgeon, we just mentioned him.
That was a nice move. Going wide, cutting in, shooting that far post.
Scott Young gave him a little drop pass at the blue line. And Turgeon slid in there on the short side. I think he surprised Jimmy Waite. And Eric Daze has a wicked wrister right there. And Brodeur comes out and challenges him. And then down the other way we go. Goal on the far side. Jimmy's the big save. Yeah, and Jimmy's the goalie coach for Corey Crawford and Scott Darling in Chicago. Took over for his brother, Stefan Wade, who moved on to the Montreal Canadiens. And he's going to have to reevaluate that position on video. Don't you think there, Rupper?
Well, I mean, that would, what would you say, Panger? The right move there is to go down. I don't know if these guys want to go down too many times.
It's sometimes hard to get up at that age, right?
Good point, John Kelly.
Especially with a total knee replacement like you had a year ago.
It does make it a little bit more difficult, but at the same time, I was rather confident. Doc did a great job, and the knee felt good.
That's great.
Darren, we were talking late in the second period, but to me, the goaltenders tonight have been the stars of the game. They have all been great.
You know, watching the game, Toronto and Detroit beforehand, the same thing. And you know, I think as you go along, it's tough for these players. It's tough for them to keep up the pace and, you know, make plays. And you know, it's not like a lot of these guys play all the time. I think it might be more to the benefit now to the goaltender than it is to the player.
Again, Steve Conroy is mic'd up on the Blackhawks bench. Steve, what's it going to take to get some goals by Marty Brodeur here in the third period?
Well, you know what? He is, I think he just mentioned he's only 2 years away from playing his last NHL game. I think you're going to have to get traffic, and it's going to be a rebound attempt, second and third opportunities.
Steve sounds like a coach, Mike.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he's talking about right there. He's got the full scouting report there, but the pace of this is really elevated. What have you felt from period to period there, Steve?
Well, just like you said, I think it started out kind of as a fun game to start with, but Mike, you know hockey players, they get serious about it, especially late in the third period. So a little bit of pride, I think, on the line. Huh? I'm talking to the guys from the NHL Network. John Kelly, Mike Rupp. Jack O'Callahan thinks I'm crazy here talking to myself.
You're a little nuts. Steve, can you talk about the rivalry and what it meant to you playing against the Blues for all those years?
Well, you know, John, it was special. You're a big part of it, and I just love the fans, both arenas. Whether it's the old Checker Dome or the old Chicago Stadium, people from both cities would travel down and make the trip, and it was always a lot of fun.
And another save by Brodeur, rebound, and he got that. And you know, Steve, some nights there were more fights in the stands than there was on the ice. That's how intense the rivalry was. Blues lead 8-6 here in the third.
Like the St. Louis Blues, the Arch in St. Louis, 50 years old in an 8-6 game. The Blues alumni leading the Chicago Blackhawks, biggest lead of the game. Remember, back in 1992, history, all 6 Sutter brothers competed in the same Stanley Cup playoff series. Norris Division semifinal with Chicago won 4-2. Brent, Darryl, and Dwayne were in the Hawks. Rich and Ron playing for Brian. Here's Brian. You remember that series?
Yes, I do. Every game against Chicago, you remembered.
Were you hard on Ronnie and Rich?
Yeah, you expected the people you care for the most, whether it be Holly or Oatsy or everybody played a big role.
Now, you're doing some coaching here. You're not standing back here as a figurehead. You're actually calling out lines and changing them up.
Well, some of these guys forget from shift to shift who's up or who doesn't want to be up. So it's Bernie, you got him.
How long did it take you to come up with the combination of Hull, Oates, and Gretzky?
Well, it's funny. Wayne and I go back a long ways, and I've always had a lot of respect for him, obviously, and so it wasn't very hard. Change him up.
You go back a long time in this city as well, and the transformation that you've seen from the old rink to Scott Trade and now an outdoor game here at Busch Stadium.
Well, it's pretty special. We've gone through a lot, and you were here when St. Louis had the lowest payroll in the league, and we switched ownerships I don't know how many times over a 10-year period, and you never know who was going to go on from year to year, and we saw a lot, and it's I'm watching the game, guys, and it's quiet.
Kelly,
you guys are up.
Kelly, you have anything to add into the interview, Chaser? Anything you want to add?
I think it's time you start making some tough decisions around here. Hull, Gretzky, and Oates haven't been very good.
Right, no, we saw a lot over the years, and you know what stayed consistent is the fans. And this is a tremendous sports city, and you know what the Cardinals are doing here today and everything. So it's pretty special. This like you look here, this is absolutely incredible. It doesn't happen anyplace in North America. It happens here.
For an alumni game, and it is full at Busch Stadium. So the Sutters, what are they? Are they the Blackhawks, the Blues? Like, who would win out?
Well, it was World War III every time you played, and you know, like somebody like Darryl is not just a brother; he's a good friend, and yeah, he was captain in Chicago for years, and I was captain in St. Louis, and you know, the people you cared about the most were your teammates, and that's why we're such a close-knit group. And the Rob Ramages and on, and a bunch of guys playing here today, and it's, you know, it's good friends. You might not see them for years, but good friends are people. You just not see them for years. Like I say, 2 minutes you see him, it's like you saw him yesterday.
So, Brian, is there a guy that you saw over the last couple of days where it was like right back to day one when you were with them or coaching them?
There's a lot of them. Jeff Brown, Garth Butcher, Holly, Oatsy, so many of those guys. And it's, you know, a lot of those guys came here and were finding their way, not just in hockey and life. And my job always, I felt as a coach, wasn't to compare them with somebody else, to make themselves be better inside. And once you made them understand themselves better, they became better players. And, you know, Brett's a great example of that. And, you know, you don't try to change people. You try to make them better and understand themselves and see themselves inside in a different light. And that's the way I always looked at it. In every place I went, those teams became better. Players became better. And unfortunately, when you left them, left wing, guys.
Caught Dallas Drake by surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, before
Yaker, you guys are up. Chaser.
we let you go, it's under 10 minutes to go. Will you shorten your bench?
No. Everybody's important. Oh, you know, see, Gretz might not get on no shift they want to get on, but anyhow, but it's neat. This is special. It's special. This is pretty good.
Well, I got a chance to spend a lot of time with Rich last year, and just a growing appreciation for the Sutters. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's an honor to have you here and be a part of it. It's special.
Really appreciate it, John.
Thank you, Darren. An amazing family from Viking, Alberta, the Sutters.
I mean, that's crazy, that story, and seeing that series, how many Sutters were involved in that series on both sides. And what do you think their summer, barbecues on the farm? Was it recruitment time?
Right.
I mean, how did you pick sides? I'm going to go to St. Louis. I'm going to go to Chicago. I mean, that's incredible. And it took about 2 minutes having a conversation with Brian Sutter downstairs today. I can listen to that guy talk all day long. I can listen to his stories. It's pretty special. And how special you can tell in his voice this game and this day is for him.
And his number hangs in the rafters at Scott Trade Center, about 5 blocks from here. By the way, Kyle Calder scored a goal while we were talking to Brian, so it's 8-7 here with 7 minutes left. And a shot off the side of the goal. But you can tell, Mike, that the pace has really picked up. It's all business now for these teams.
Yeah, and I think once we get out on the underside of 5 minutes left, I think that you're just going to see guys going, exchanging chances end to end. I mean, we got a 1-goal game right now. It's not like it's out of reach. So I expect the competitive nature to come to the top, that's for sure.
And the Blues steal the puck. And forced back to the goal by Terry Yake. In front again, Jimmy Waite goes down.
Big save.
And the puck to center ice. Here come the Blackhawks, wide open in front.
Murray to Calder.
Wow, a couple of 19s.
Yes. The right-handed 19 and the left-handed 19. That was a nice pass by Troy Murray in there to Kyle Calder, who, like you said, John, got their last goal. Looking for the equalizer right here.
Steve Conroy, can we expect a big push from your club here in the last 5:55? Maybe Steve can't hear us, but
he's too dialed in.
Yes.
He's too focused.
He's too focused. And now Turgeon.
Look at Turgeon, though, the way he could just turn up on the dime and just lay that saucer pass in there. I mean, you can't not only not teach that stuff, he does it so naturally. It's just in his blood. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was born with great skill, great vision, like a lot of these guys. As Garth Butcher tries to clear it. Now Jim Cummins for Chicago on the give and go. And off the mark. And then lobbed wide by O'Callaghan. With the Blues leading 8-7.
Well, fellas, number 99's going out. I asked, is this the final shift of your Alumni career? He's not committing to that yet, but he feels it's the last shift of the game anyway.
It's his third ever Alumni game for the Great One, who has a house here in St. Louis. His wife is from St. Louis, as we know. And now Reed Simpson for Chicago lost it. And Oates with it. Oh, he had a man open on the wing. And that was number 19, Mellenby. Here come the Hawks back. And Noonan back of the goal for Big Daze. Darren Payne, can you sense the urgency here in the latter stages of the third period?
Well, there's no question about it. I mean, the Blues alumni, the home alumni, the Hawks will give them everything they've got. Right down to the wire. This is the way it should be right now.
Here comes Tkachuk and Fedorko with Mellenby. To Tkachuk. And Waite got over.
Wow. Give me Waite.
Now Rivers in front. Mellenby right on, and a save by Waite again. And a pass to Federico. Tipped by a coin to center ice. And under 4 to play. And that shot, where is it? Off Brodeur's pad. But he found it, and the future Hall of Famer has it. Blues leading 8-7 down the stretch here at Busch Stadium.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. The Blues with an 8-7 lead over the Blackhawks in the Alumni game. I am joined by Eric Daze. Eric, as this game gets deeper, do the competitive juices get ramped up a little?
Oh yeah, obviously, you know, there's only a one goal difference. Guys are pushing right now really to score the next goal.
Got to get it past Marty Brodeur. Do you have a great Marty Brodeur memory over the years?
Yeah, I scored on the red line one year. The puck bounced about 2 feet. I was already on the bench, and the guys told me I just scored a goal. So it's that tough to score against him. So if you get an easy one, you take it.
We'll see if you can try to get the equalizer here in the third. Lastly, do you have a snapshot moment from this experience that stands out most right now?
Yeah, just being around Wayne Gretzky. The first I played against him, the first period was pretty awesome to be right next to the great one. So
hopefully it's not his last Alumni game. We'll see if that happens. Eric Daze, good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
John and Mike, back up to you.
All right, Pat, it's amazing even a guy like Daze is in awe of a guy like Gretzky.
It's crazy what Wayne Gretzky has done for the game of hockey. I mean, what he's done for it in general, Canada, all over the world, but in the United States with the movement of hockey in the United States. He is the absolute ambassador of the game. He's a great one.
A great man off the ice as well. Well, 2:35 to go, and the Blues leading by 1. It's 8-7. Is there a final push from the Blackhawks? By the way, if the Hawks do tie the game, and it ends in a tie, we'll go to a shootout.
I want to see that. I would love it. I would love for it to go to a shootout. You know who they're going to put the fan faves out there. They're going to want to show everyone what they want. And I think it'll be an exciting way to end it.
Let's see if the Hawks pull the goalie here with 2:05 to go. And Drake back for the Blues. To McInnes. And this comes to center ice. And now played back for O'Callaghan. That's tipped in by Dave Mackey. And now the Hall of Famer McInnes again. And that's just bunted down the ice by Drake, but not far enough for icing. Good veteran play by Dallas Drake. And then Scott Young.
I was watching Jimmy Wade getting out of the net there to play the puck. Getting out there, he's got some good wheels. He's gotten out a few times and playing that puck, I guess, to be the goaltending coach of the Chicago Blackhawks.
And there he goes off for the 6th attacker. Turgeon flips to center ice. And now handed back to Adrian Aucoin. The Hawks' net is empty. Here they come to the net. And that goes wide. And the fans into it now. Puck in front. And a save by Brodeur. As he was down. Now Aucoin a drive. And that hit traffic. Turgeon trying to clear it. And Larry Patey does.
Great job swatting it out of the air there.
Now Brian Noonan poked away by Turgeon with 40 seconds left. Empty net. Turgeon for the empty net. It does. They played goaltender there.
Yes, he did. Kept it alive.
And the Blackhawks have a chance here. Still down by 1. Now a coin into Noonan. In front, tipped away by Jackman. And that will go wide of the empty net and no icing. With 10 to go in this
One last rush.
One last rush. Noonan across. And now a coin in front. At the buzzer, a shot by Pops. And it goes wide, and the Blues literally hang on and win 8-7.
How about Holly's back check? You know these guys want to win when you got Holly on that back check coming back hard.
And Marty Brodeur, let's give him win number 692. How about that?
Why not? No one's touching it anyways.
Exactly.
May as well give him another one.
Well, that was a fun finish here at Busch Stadium.
It was.
As Turgeon gets the game-winning goal.
I just can't believe it. When you watch how smooth he is, it doesn't look like he ever left the ice. And that's incredible. But it was so awesome to see guys out here. You mentioned Dallas Drake a minute ago. When I think of the stereotypical hockey player, I think of Dallas Drake. He just, to me, is always, I don't know what that even means. It's just that when I think of the hockey player, a guy who plays the game hard, he plays it right, and I've heard from everybody what a leader he is. It's just fun to watch all these guys that I watched as a kid, and just to see them all come together here and have some fun, it was great.
Tell you what, this turned into a very entertaining hockey game as these clubs line up at center ice at Busch Stadium and congratulate each other on a game well played. So the Blues take the Alumni game here at Busch Stadium. The final score, 8-7. The Blues win it. And the final score here at Busch Stadium in the Winter Classic Alumni game, the Blues win 8-7. Along with Mike Rupp, I'm John Kelly back in the broadcast booth, and we have the team picture at center ice, and these great Warriors get together one final time here at Busch.
Yes, and one final time. I think the only time we'll see them shoulder to shoulder, but all these guys having a great time. Saluting the fans right here. I mean, it's incredible watching the way that everybody is. They appreciate the competition, and it was a great game.
And Mike, how special was it to see, especially the 7 Hall of Famers in action today, including the great one, Wayne Gretzky, who, as Darren said, might play his last ever game today.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable when you watch how much talent is on that ice there and what it's meant just to the game in general. I mean, it's mind-boggling to see one of the greatest, or the greatest player, one of the greatest passers of the game, and Adam Oates. I mean, you can go on and on. The talent in this game was unbelievable.
All right, let's go downstairs. Darren Millard near the ice.
With Kelly Chase, I witnessed a butt end 2 or 3 times where you're sticking out trying to hook people down. Took it a little more serious than I thought.
Then you thought I
thought you would take it.
Aren't you from Western Canada?
I am.
Well, we didn't come here to make friends, buddy. I mean, this is, I got to walk around this town after it. I can't just be out here taking a bunch of slashes and sticks. I mean, my good buddy Butch got knocked on his rear end. I mean, they're looking for a response, Darren.
Do you think they disrespected you?
Oh, well, most importantly, like I think my coach from the old days did, like Sutter. Like, he was surprised I scored and had a couple points. I told him he never used me right in the first place. I think he's, it took a while to earn his respect. By the second period, I mean, I was going out there every, 5th, 6th time.
Did you have an issue communicating with him when you played with him in the old days, or is that new today?
No, it was a one-way conversation. He told me to sit down and shut up, and I pretty much did it. And when I didn't, he just punched me in the ribs. It's not much has changed, but he did use me a little bit, and I told him it was time to shorten the bench and start looking into guys and make some hard decisions. And it was the last shift I saw of the game, so apparently it was me again.
Did this live up to expectations? Because they were really high on the St. Louis Blues side. The show was fabulous, but the experience of the Alumni game.
I think if you look around the crowd and you know what the history of this town and the Blues are meant to it, I think, first of all, I got to say thanks to the Chicago Blackhawks, but the rivalry is so old and so deep, and it's awesome. But I can honestly tell you, and it's not taking anything away from the game that's going to be played in a couple days, but I can tell you going around town, people really were excited about this game. This is the thing they wanted to see. They wanted to see Brett. They wanted to see Adam. They wanted to see the Cavallini brothers and Brian Sutter and Bobby Plager, who's been here 50 years with the organization. It's deep-rooted hockey tradition, and I think that it showed. I mean, look, this place was jammed. You couldn't get a ticket. I mean, percentage-wise, dollar-wise, they had a hell of a time out here, and we loved it. And I'm honored. Not a very good player, as you happened to mention a few times, and I got to play in it, so that's great.
You know what? You've made St. Louis proud and Saskatchewan as well. Thanks for doing this.
Pleasure to be here and hide everyone back in Saskatchewan, Porcupine Plain, and Kelvington.
Let's go over to Pat Boyle.
Aaron, thank you very much. I'm with Daniel Carcillo. Chaser, known for his physicality. Did he take a run at you at all, Daniel?
I think he just tried to rub me out and play the puck hard, and it was a one-goal game, last 3 minutes. I wouldn't expect anything less.
You're known for your physicality, but it was you getting an equalizer in the third period against Marty Brodeur. How nice is it to have your son Austin here at Busch Stadium to be able to see Dad score and beat a Hall of Famer?
It's pretty cool. The last championship we won in Chicago, he was a part of it, and he was a part of the parade, and I didn't think much would sink in. He was only 6 months old, but every time he sees, the Indian head or anything red or black, he's saying "Dad, Dad," and pointing to it, and hockey, hockey, hockey. So I think I got a little young hockey player on my hands.
To say that Blues lineup was stacked would be an understatement. What did you think looking over there and seeing some of those names this afternoon?
A lot of Hall of Famers. It's pretty cool to be a part of something like this, obviously, and I watched a lot of those guys growing up and idolized a lot of them and the way they played. Obviously, seeing Wayne here was nice again. I started with him in Arizona as my coach, and he was amazing and still keeps in touch with me. So goes to the type of guys that are in the hockey community, and to see both alumni so strong, it's an encouraging sight.
Well, congratulations on a great effort, and we'll see you down the road.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Let's send it over to Darren Millard.
Keith Tkachuk is a longtime National Hockey League player, a member of the St. Louis Blues alumni, but also a hockey dad now of an NHL player. So how cool was this compared to watching Matthew play in his first year in the National Hockey League?
Wow, you know what? This is spectacular, but anytime you watch your kids, that's pretty cool. And now that he's in the National Hockey League and I have other kids, so they're critiquing my play, so I had to look somewhat decent, which is hard to do at this point.
Did Matt give you any advice going into this thing?
Yeah, he said, "Dad, don't make me look bad. Do something out there."
Because you know the players in that room in Calgary will give him a couple of jabs.
Yeah, we had the Tkachuk Challenge, me and my wife. All three of us are playing games today. Myself, my son Brady, and now Matthew's got a game tonight, so we'll see who the head honcho is.
Well, who's Mom watching?
Oh, Mom loves the kids better than her husband. There's no question about that. It won't change.
So we watched you break in Winnipeg, and you met your wife there and raised your children and went on to Arizona. St. Louis has become home for you.
Yeah, this is a great spot. We have a lot of alumni here. It's a great place to raise a family. This is where the kids grew up. Obviously, the people here is what makes it such a great place. Yeah, we love it. We're not going to move. We're Midwest people now, so we enjoy living here. And this event is spectacular, and hockey's growing here big time.
What's your memory, your takeaway from this?
I probably can't answer that right now because I'm still on cloud nine. I got to be on the same bench as Wayne Gretzky.
No, you kept going on after him.
After him, yeah. The coach said, Tkachuk, Walt, you're up. And I always said, I got Wayne Gretzky. I did that every single shift, and I felt pretty cool.
I feel old because I was there when you broke into the National Hockey League, and now Matt's in.
Trust me, my body feels old right now.
Walt, thanks for this. Keith Tkachuk.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Darren Pang.
Well, thanks very much, Darren, and always great listening to Big Walt. Obviously, you were a teammate of Big Walt's, but as far as the rest of the alumni, Barrett Jack, when you're your first year out of the National Hockey League, you live here in St. Louis, you married a St. Louis girl. This is an incredible opportunity that you're just retired and you're able to play. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, I've been lucky. A lot of guys don't get that, just to be in one place for a long time and then to be part of an amazing alumni when you're done. It's a tough transition, but when you got 35, 45 guys that still live in the city, it's a pretty good family to transition to.
When you look around, you've come to many baseball games here. You've seen the great St. Louis Cardinals. Did you ever in your lifetime imagine that you'd be playing hockey here?
No, you kind of grow up playing outdoors, and then you see them starting, all over the league doing the outdoor games, and you always want to be a part of it. But last year when they announced that the Blues were going to get this, I thought I was going to miss out. But it's pretty special to be part of the alumni, and I don't know how many Hall of Famers were on the ice tonight, but just to sit in the dressing room and get to listen to those guys talk is, I felt like a kid again.
Well, thank you very much, Barrett. Pleasure watching you play your NHL career. Glad that you're part of the Blues alumni. And in a game like this, it was a great success. So way to go.
Thanks a lot, Barry.
Okay. Barrett Jack, what a beauty. Gotta love him. John Kelly, back to you.